Hello, my name is Amanda Gilbert, and you are watching On the Real Estate. I am a loan officer with Churchill Mortgage, and what that means is that I help people all over the country buy houses that they love. And it's super cool to be a part of such an awesome milestone in someone's life, and I would love to help you buy your house when the time is right. So what I've done today is create a cool space for people who are also excited about the growth in Nashville who work in the real estate industry. So today I have my super awesome bud, Kari.
Hello.
We've known each other for like over 10 years, and I was like, hey, I'm trying something absolutely bonkers. Will you please be my first guinea pig?
And I was happy to accept the challenge.
So it's awesome. I'm already ahead of my note cards here. I'm like super excited. Have my friend Kari. Thank you for coming is what my last
Glad to be here.
Sweet, okay. So I kind of just want to have a conversation a little bit about real estate and then a little bit not about real estate.
Sure.
So how did you get into real estate?
Okay, so I am the type of person who wants to know the basics about everything.
Okay.
So that can be a craft or cleaning your house properly or tidying up. But in this case, I really wanted to know everything that I could possibly learn about buying a house before I bought one. So I just like to know everything I know about a car before I buy it. I like to be, sensible and research. And so it started there, I think, with sort of just like a morbid interest in buying real estate in the future. And then I had what I thought was my dream job, turned out to not be such a dream, and then started reassessing my options and thinking, what do I really think I could do as a career? And my brokers, Sheila and Connie, shout out, hi, what's up? Sheila called me one day because she had heard that I had been kind of tossing around the idea through my stepmom, and she called me and just sort of broke down the process for what to expect with the career, and it really just seemed like something that would appeal to me, helping people, creative problem solving, talking, all the things that I'm good at. So I think that's where it started. Yeah, and then next thing I knew, I was in real estate school.
Super cool.
Yeah.
I think that's how some of you don't wake up. I mean, not everyone wakes up and has this passion for something. I remember in high school, people were already knew what they were going to go into in college, and I was so envious of that, and but I think as you grow and you develop and you learn new parts of yourself to be I'm just interested in maybe buying a house, and then you kind of, this sounds fun and exciting, and I never would have thought to do this, but it's just kind of lined up as an interest, and now it's what you're doing. So I think that's how you really find passion in your career is in weird ways like that.
Yeah.
Cool. So what is the number one thing that you wish your clients knew?
Okay, I had a really good answer for this. Let me think about it for a second. The number one thing I wish my clients knew is that I wish that they knew that everything that goes into being a real estate agent and everything I'm doing for them that I'm not listing out that I'm doing for them. Whether it's just looking into making sure that the school zones match what is listed on the MLS, or little things like that, making sure it's not in a flood zone, maybe things I hadn't thought of in that way, but also vetting the people who are selling or buying the house, just all these things behind the scenes that maybe am not so upfront about listing everything I'm doing for them, because I think a lot of people think nowadays, especially with the internet, maybe I don't need an agent, but there is so much that an agent brings to the table that you just will not get if you try to buy a house without an agent.
Yeah.
Or sell.
Definitely. I think that I had a really great real estate agent when we bought our house, and since I've started in this industry, I absolutely did not know everything that he did for us.
Sure.
And I don't think that when you're buying a house, or you're just there's kind of having this really fun time going to show me houses, and then you're out of a contract, and that was super easy, and now I'm just going to make a ton of money. But and my mother-in-law, hopefully, who is watching, she's a realtor, and man, it's so much more work than I think people really realize. And
the real work comes after the contract is signed.
Yeah, for sure. I definitely agree with that.
Yes.
But I think another aspect is that I work with people all the time who are oh no, we're going to try not use a realtor, whether it's a for sale by owner or they're trying to represent themselves, and it's like going into a court of law unrepresented, like, oh, I'm going to represent myself. And we've all seen how those documentaries, that I silenced there. Okay, sorry, call you back later. Okay, awesome. Hardest part of your job?
Hardest part of my job is getting my clients to see the side and the perspective of the other side of the buying or selling, so the other clients. Because a lot of times it is just two people trying to, one side's just trying to move in, find a suitable housing, and the other side's trying to get rid of their housing and find another or whatever. And, both sides are trying to get the most for their investment and have very similar motivations, but I think that it gets a little dehumanized when you separate them, and it's not like they're ever seeing the person, which can be good too, because then they're not getting attached to the person and getting taken advantage of them. But I always try to really advocate for my clients, but then also explain why somebody on the other side might be making the moves they're making, and that it's not necessarily they're trying to offend or take advantage of them, but that they are just trying to do right by their clients too.
For sure.
Yeah.
And it's so emotional on both sides that to have that, like, okay, here's the rationale, let's just not try and get tied up in the I'm angry or I'm upset or I'm super excited or whatever it is, that it's just, here's what we're thinking, here's what they're thinking, let's try and take as much emotion out of it, which is so hard to do because you want to buy this house, so you're envisioning yourself and your kids and your family. And so I think that's super important to have that mindset going into it of, let's think of both sides, let's just try and be as rational as possible, and to be kind of that great mediator.
Sure.
Is awesome.
Yeah.
Number one question you are faced with or asked pretty regularly?
I work a lot with listings, so the number one question I get is, are people going to really like my house? And especially in Nashville, where the market is hot right now, I feel like there is a buyer for every home. I mean, even the ones that may have what seems like an unsellable quality. So something that I really enjoy doing is when I come into a house, highlighting those features about it that make it stand out on the market. It is amazing how many times I've seen listings that have no mention of the incredible bathtub or the backyard, and you show up and you're like, I had no idea this even existed. And so I'm always trying to just make it look as appealing and unique as possible. I think people get hung up, and I think this kind of goes into the next question too. What's the next question? Sorry,
I already gave her the questions like she's a celebrity.
Sorry.
I really wanted to feel like I'm Jimmy Fallon. It's a great dream.
But basically,
or Tina Fey.
I was just gonna say,
Can I switch? I don't want to be Jimmy. I want to be Tina.
All right, Tina. Well, I was gonna say also that people get hung up in like the little flaws that they've noticed in their homes because they've lived there forever, the little things that they've decided they don't like about the home, and even though they may go in and fill all the holes in and repaint it, they still sit there and just worry that people are going to walk in and immediately be turned off by whatever.
For sure, yeah.
And I love being able to be that outside perspective and coming in and being like, oh no, they're going to love this, they're going to love this, they're going to love this. I think people also get hung up on sticking to current home decorating trends and get really scared that if they decorate to their own desires that might turn off other buyers, and I hate that. I hate that because I really think that just as there are current home decorating trends, there are just as many people who are decorating from their own personal preferences, and also building their houses to their own personal suitable needs. So I really like being able to highlight that stuff, and I've heard many people say, wow, other agents have come in here and just started talking about all the reasons why buyers would knock money off the price they would offer, and I don't do that. I walk in and I just immediately start gushing because
glass half full.
Yeah, of course. And if I can't think it's a great property, how am I going to believe in it and sell it to someone else as a great property?
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
I think, I definitely, because you never know what someone's going to like. Yeah. And so it's like, why point out the flaws when you can point out the positives when, again, you never know. I think that's there's a buyer for every house.
Sure, yeah, I agree.
So, Is this going to be the question that you think? I don't know. What do you think it is?
I don't remember.
What is, so I know a lot of really cool things about Kari, so this almost feels like a goofy question for me to ask, because I feel like I could answer it. But what's something unique about you and your services that stand out in a crowd of, man, just like an overflow of realtors in Nashville?
I have two.
Two things.
Is that okay?
Hit me with them. Number one.
Yep. I am an active volunteer at the rock and roll camps that are put on by the Youth Empowerment through Arts and Humanities organization. I have volunteered every summer for the past 9 summers as a band manager at the rock camps. As long as I can remember, you've been doing that. Basically, yep. And it is a huge passion of mine. It's a highlight of my summer. And now, for the past 2 years, I've been donating 5% of all of my real estate commissions to the rock and roll camps, which is something I'm really proud and honored to get to do. And that money goes straight to the scholarship program. So I've already gotten to fund at least 6 or 7 kids going to camp just from real estate commissions, which is
so cool.
So cool.
I remember you like posted a picture, maybe even like texted me a picture of like you at Fond Object. Were you at Fond Objects with someone?
Maybe.
No?
Maybe, yes.
It was like a little dude.
Yes. That you donated to his scholarship.
Oh, yeah. That's what, yeah.
So, thanks. Yeah, shout out to Josh. He was a good rocker.
Cool.
Yeah.
So what?
Do you want number 2?
I do.
Okay.
But, 1B, or maybe this is, 1B. How old do you have to be? Because I have Tilden, who's 2.
Sure. So, the regular camp is ages 10 to 17.
Okay.
However, we just started a Ready to Rock camp.
Yeah.
And so I believe that is ages 3 to 9.
Cool.
And so we got to get Tilden in there ASAP.
Absolutely. Yeah. School of Rock, really going for a Jack Black theme.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Rock and roll.
Yeah, Tom has this Paul McCartney book, and man, it's like bigger than the Bible, and she like wants to read Paul, and so we just look at these like black and white pictures of like Paul,
I love that,
like with his brother Michael McCartney, who I think has such like a romantic name. Did you know that Paul's brother was named Michael McCartney? I'm like in love with his name, and so I just like can never forget it, because I'm like, oh, Michael McCartney, what are you doing? DM. Okay, so number 2
is this year I got licensed, or sorry, what's the word I'm looking for here?
Certified.
Certified as a green realtor. So I can help buyers and sellers with making decisions about smart home technology. I know where to go for resources to learn more about the walkability and other things that impact the environment of a neighborhood. I can help people with different little tweaks they can do to bring their home up to modern smart home technology or energy efficient practices when they're selling. And I can help people be more comfortable and save money through these green practices that I have learned, and I've been really excited to share that with a lot of people.
So, okay, so say like I'm not buying a house or selling a house, but if, man, my electric bill is like through the roof and I think I have some like crappy windows, so is that a thing where like, hey, Kari, will you just like come snoop around my house?
Absolutely. Yeah, and so that's something I'm going to be doing a lot next year is in-home analysis, where I walk through your house with you. I'm going to start with my friends who are already homeowners, and yeah, just walk through, tell you different practices, things you could do. A lot of it is just changing habits, though, really. And a lot of people will walk into smart homes and buy them and be like, well, I'm not saving any more money, and it's because they're still leaving the lights on.
Oh, right.
So a lot of it is just habits that need to be changed.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm really passionate about spreading that information.
Cool. I was gonna just talk about the Nest, but we don't have to talk about that because I think we can talk about it after. The Nest is great. I just think that it's really cool.
The Nest is
I'll
amazing.
pick your brain about it after.
Yeah, for sure.
So we talked about this a little bit, kind of in what makes you unique, but also how do you spend your time outside of real estate? What kind of projects are you involved with?
Well, I do a lot. I organize a music festival every year called Far Out Nashville.
Again, lots of this. Lots of
opportunities.
Lots of rock and roll. If you're into music and good vibes, Kari.
Thank you. I'm also a radio DJ. I go by DJ Carl on the radio on WXNA here in Nashville. We have a show called Dizzy Spell, my co-host Eric and I. It's we get into a lot of weird stuff, but we also share a lot of rock and music, classic music, modern, local music. It goes all over the place because it's community radio, it's freeform radio. And then I'm also a multimedia artist, so I work in just pretty much any medium you can name. I've probably tried it. Just depends on the project I'm working on. Yeah.
And puppets.
I work with puppets sometimes.
That's
yes.
some of the coolest stuff. Like, if you follow her on Instagram or Facebook, I'm just like, puppets, of course. Like, it's so like charming and nostalgic and warm. And so to be like, oh, you work with puppets? Of course, because it kind of just like makes sense.
Yeah.
But at the same time, it's like, who even works with puppets? Like,
yeah. So Nashville, actually, the Downtown Public Library has an 80-year tradition of an in-house puppet program. We're like the only public library in the country that has their own in-house puppet program. And it's because this man, Tom Titchener, who was huge in the puppet community, started, no, he worked in that library. So we have like all of his puppets. There's this room in the basement that is like my favorite place in Nashville, and it is just acres of puppets. And it is really neat. It's cool. Mostly marionettes. So
yeah. So do you like
it. No, so I'm not a puppeteer.
Okay.
So I work on the sets and the tech work and the little detail sewing and painting, things like that. But I'm not really a puppeteer. I would like to get into marionette puppeteering, but I don't really want to be an actor, which a lot of the puppet shows that do involve acting in some elements. So yeah, I like to be the person behind the curtain, kind of. Yeah,
makes sense.
It's
kind of like being a little, I mean, that makes sense. Cool.
Right.
So that kind of transitions to the, not that we've even really been talking about real estate the whole time, but to the next portion where I want to play a quick game.
Okay.
Called Love It or Leave It.
Okay.
And I'm going to put these down here. And so what I want to do is, if you love something, I want you to hold up this.
Okay.
Okay, take a quick peek at that guy. That looks like Tracy Chapman.
Wait.
Doesn't it have Tracy Chapman vibes? Yes. I mean, that's what I think of every time. Funny story about this friend is that, I'm not sure if this is TMI, but, on the real.
Bring it.
So, when my husband Tom and I are going to sleep, we'll, watch something, and then usually I'm, the first one to pass out. Mm-hmm. And we're on my computer, and so he would always Google, golden retriever wearing a bathing suit. Sure. And it would be something goofy. And so when I open my computer, it's there's a golden retriever playing in the sand wearing a bathing suit. Just a funny,
that's adorable.
So this is one of the ones. And man, I have just saved that to my desktop. I'm so happy that this friend has come to fruition because it just embodies so much. It's Blossom Tracy Chapman. I'm just not really sure. And I just love this.
This dog shops at Delia's.
Absolutely. Shout out to Delia's, who, on occasion, I will still get their catalog.
Really?
So shout out to Delia's for, I guess, trying to exist in 2018 and really finding that next generation of Delia's. Okay, so if you don't like something, go ahead and hold up this big zoom up of Justin Bieber's horrible mustache. Okay, so love it or leave it.
Okay, got it.
Okay. So, the first one that we have here is Love It or Leave It. I'm so excited. Love It or Leave It. Third Eye Blind's 1997 smash hit, Semi-Charmed Life.
Oh, love it.
Stephen Jenkins.
Are you kidding?
My man. Absolutely love it.
Never got old.
Never got old. Still a great karaoke song.
Absolutely.
I have this great dream of I even texted my sister recently hey, I think I need to get out some deep emotion. I want to karaoke with you. Third Eye Blind, deep cuts only.
I love it.
Some deep cuts that no one really knows but will be very therapeutic for me. So if anyone wants to come to that night.
I want something else to get me through this semi-charm kind of life.
I think that we all still want something. We all still want something to get us through that. Shout out Stephen Jenkins if you're watching. I saw you at Cannery, and it was great. You were a little weird, but you're great. Okay, all right. Here we have Love It or Leave It.
Oh man, Sriracha?
Love it.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
It's big in our house.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because some people are it's too cool or something now.
Yeah.
Because you can literally get on socks at Target.
Fair.
And
I've also heard that the people who live in the area where this factory is hate it because it is apparently just so intense. The air just is spicy air.
Oh, wow.
So I kind of feel bad every time I think about it, but I love it.
So it's kind of that, there's that Nutro, I think, over kind of by 100 Oaks-ish area. There's that dog food plant.
Okay.
So I kind of get that because we used to live over there and be some not good smelling dog food.
Yeah.
So I can see how that could burn a little bit.
Yeah.
Okay, last one here. Pokemon.
Oh man, love it.
Oh my gosh.
Oh my
I
gosh.
thought this was going to derail. I thought this would derail the love. So I had no idea that you were such a Pokemon fan.
I love Japanese animation.
Okay.
Love it. I love the spirit of teamwork and love and support
Wrapping
in
it back
Pokemon.
around. Wrapping it back around.
Pokemon Go started getting more people out riding their bikes and walking and outdoors. The people who run Nintendo seem to are very plugged into their responsibility as a huge corporation, and I love that.
Not the answer
I
had all expected.
I know. I'm full of surprises.
Full of surprises. So I'm sure that it goes without saying, but if you think that you would enjoy working with Kari because she's super awesome, to list or to buy a home, her contact info is going to be below after I finish up this thing. And then, of course, same with me. If you have any questions about buying or refinancing, I would obviously love to help. The world of real estate, I'm sure as a lot of you know, is all referral based. And so any friends or family that you're like, hey, I kind of think that I know someone, I think that y'all would vibe, or just, again, have questions, would absolutely, love to have a conversation. It's never too early to start planning because, again, it's such a huge, cool milestone.
Yeah, and we make it fun.
Absolutely. If you can tell.
If you can't tell.
Okay, so lastly, we're not going to have this next Friday because Black Friday, spend time with fam. So the next show is going to be 2 weeks from now, 11:30. If you would like to be a part of the show or you know someone that would like to come and hang out with me and chat, let me know. Thank you so much for watching. It was super cool.
Yeah.
Cool. All right. Have a good day. See ya. Stop.